No, that's not the Stranger Things theme, folks. It's a theme based on the Stranger Things theme. I got cool intro music, don't I? Damn, I mistimed that. I mistimed it. I thought I heard it right in my ears. I should have. Shut up, Dave. Shut up. It's cool shit, folks. Good morning, everybody. It is Tuesday, April the 14th, 2020, 11:02 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. My name is Dave McRae. Not quite. I'm still getting used to the beats. I gotta get the beats down right. I gotta get the... Wait. There we go. Hang on. It's good shit, man. I'm telling you, it's good shit. There's one thing this show will always have. It's good music. This is episode 42 of McRae Live, and today I want to just scroll through some... Let's fucking play that again. Let's just play that again. Why not? Let's play that again. Let's do that again. It's great shit. Great shit. Yeah, how you guys doing? You hanging in? You hanging in? You doing well? You doing well? Dave's been DJing, Smiths Grove says. Yeah, I'm DJing. I don't know what the fuck that was. Yeah, this is a new track for the show. Ooh, I think it got ahead of me just a little bit. I think I was a little bit late there. Just a little bit. I'll get it. One of these mornings I'll be like, and I'll be right on. Like how I do with Two Dudes and Some Bullshit. Yeah, love this piece of music. Love it. Yeah, I just want to scroll through some movie news today. I haven't looked at the movie news. Oh yeah, feel that. Just feel it. Yeah, scroll through some movie news today, and just see what piques my interest, and maybe we can talk about it. You know what I mean? I love that new track for the show. I love it. There's a couple other tracks I got here for the show too. Great stuff. I like this even better than the Stranger Things theme, Jim Dorsey says. It definitely was inspired by. There's no doubt about that. I mean, you could certainly tell that it's inspired by, but it is in fact not the Stranger Things theme. It is a bit different. Yeah, scrolling through the movie news. So I haven't looked at what this is. I mean, look, the world of entertainment, as we all know, is a bit of a snooze right now. I mean, there's always some things coming out that you can talk about, but not everything interests me. You know, I'm not a reporter. I don't fancy myself somebody like a John Campea or any of the bigger channels that do movie news, and they talk about everything and anything. Well, mostly everything and anything. I've noticed Campea doesn't have a leg to stand on when it comes to horror, really. He's not really very good at talking about that. No offense, Mr. Campea. I think you're fine. But just funny that you can always... it'd be like me talking about superhero movies. You know,
clearly this guy is, okay, Dave, there's the door. There's the door, buddy. There's the door.
You know, everybody's got their strengths. Everybody's kind of got their weaknesses, right? But I'm not a movie news guy. I don't have a broad interest in... I have a broad interest in the process of making movies. You know, the production, the development, the pre-production, the production, the post-production, the distribution. I love all that kind of stuff. I mean, when I was in film school years ago, that stuff really interested me. But in terms of all the movies that are coming out, I just don't care. I just don't, and because I'm not a big superhero guy, like I've always said, I've always liked your staples, right? Like, your Batmans, your Spider-Mans, your Supermans. I mean, those are kind of your staples. But I had no idea what a Black Adam was, or a Black Widow was, up until just maybe a couple years ago. Like, I'm not neck deep into it like some of you guys are. So because superhero films are essentially dominating the movie scope these days, it leaves me kind of, I don't really care about that kind of stuff. So I'm not a movie news guy. I don't really care. I mean, I can talk about it. If somebody asks me a question, I'm well versed enough that I can probably give an answer of some sort. But I like to just give my thoughts from what entices me, what interests me, rather than just talking about everything and anything. And because of COVID-19, the coronavirus, and because of everything going on in the world right now, the movie newscape is sort of on the down low. It's very far and few between. And like I said, there's always things coming out. I mean, there's always news that does drop, but it's not necessarily going to be of interest to me, and I always like to run this channel and talk about things that interest me, not necessarily you. I always hope that it interests you, but there will be some shows that I do that, you don't really care to watch, right? And there'll be some shows I do where you're like fucking glued to the channel, you know what I mean? It's just the way it is, but I want to be able to do it that way, because then I'm being true to myself and true to what interests me, and I'm not selling out, and I'm not making shit up for the sake of trying to get views and all that kind of stuff. I mean, do you really think a McRae live entitled "Scrolling Through Some Movie News" is going to get a lot of clicks? I mean, let's be honest here, right? Probably not, right? I'm not doing it, for the views or for the, the AdSense or whatever. I'm just doing it because I want to talk about it. I thought it'd be fun to do, you know what I mean? So that's the kind of, I'm more of a movie commentator, right? Well, I mean, it's not my job, but in this space, that's what I would consider myself to be. So yeah, that's what I want to do. Just kind of scroll through the movie news, if there is any, and see what kind of piques my interest. And maybe we can talk about it together. I thought that might be kind of interesting and fun to do for today. Who do we got? Aaron Click is there. Tabitha Short. Yay! Tabitha's here. Dave, you don't have enough time to care about any other movie like superhero shit. You know what's funny, Tabitha, is that I actually, and I know you're kidding, but I actually wish I was as emotionally invested. Like when I see my buddy Bruce, who's not like, boy, my voice is cracking here. I think it's because I didn't get very much sleep last night.
When I talk to Bruce,
that was really funny. When I talk to Bruce, he's not like, as sweaty hardcore as some, but he knows a lot more and is much more emotionally invested than I am by a long shot. And I sometimes live vicariously through that. Like he'll get like, he'll be talking about, Thanos and Avengers and Captain America and this guy, and I have no idea what the fuck. I mean, I know the characters he's talking about, but I no idea what's going on. And it's the same thing if I, turn around and start talking about like Halloween and shit. Like he came with me to the world premiere because naturally, if there's one person I want coming with me to the world premiere of a Halloween movie, it's going to be Bruce. So he came, and he's a fan. He likes the original. He appreciates it. He likes it, but he's not like, he's not like sweaty like us. You know what I mean? He's not like, you know what I'm saying? So, but because the superhero genre as a whole is so popular today, and it's just like everything superhero movie, I kind of wish, there's a part of me that wishes I could get just as excited as some of you and be just as invested as some of you. I'm just not. I just didn't grow up. I didn't grow up reading comics. I didn't grow up, like, again, I mean, I know the staples, obviously, but I wasn't playing with those toys. I wasn't watching those cartoons. I just didn't really care about it. So unless it was like Superman or Batman, like something every little boy knows, you know what I mean? But the broader stuff, I just don't care. And that's not me saying that they're not good movies and that they haven't built a universe that's worth watching and investing. I'm not saying that. I'm just saying that I don't have a natural draw to it. So, with the movie news on the down low, a lot of the movie news I do see is superhero related. And it's kind of like, well, but hey, we'll talk about it. Maybe there's something there I can glom onto and kind of see. And there is some horror news, of course. It's always coming out, but it is very far and few between. Here's something that's kind of cool. Check this out. So this is bloodydisgusting.com. They always got their pulse on the horror genre, of course, one of the most reputable sources for horror movie news, or anything horror news, really, at the end of the day. This is interesting. Little Hope, coming summer 2020, new trailer released. Little Hope. And I love the thumbnail. I wish I could bring this up. Unfortunately, I'm not on OBS, guys. I know how to do that with OBS, but I still have to master that with Wirecast. But anyway, Little Hope, coming summer 2020, new trailer release. The thumbnail is really creepy and eerie. It's a really creepy and eerie thumbnail. Ooh, I love the mood and the atmosphere here. It says a few years back, the release date for the next entry in the Dark Pictures anthology. Oh, what the hell is Dark Pictures anthology? I haven't even heard of this. In Little Hope was seemingly leaked. Wow. Oh, it's an Xbox. Oh, it's an Xbox. It's a game. I bet you the gamers gonna be like, it's a game, Dave. It's a game. I'm not a gamer, so I don't know. I just love the thumbnail and the look of the thumbnail. And what is it here? Little Hope. Oh, not crazy on the thumbnail for the trailer, that's for sure. How many times have we seen that? Fuck. In Little Hope, abandoned and all alone, 4 college students and their professor are trapped by a mysterious fog in the isolated... Oh, wait a minute. I think I have heard of this. Wait a minute. Wait. I think I have heard of this, actually. Have you guys heard of this? Something to do, the Dark Pictures anthology. Oh, it's a game. It is a game. But it's just interesting. Like it's a game, Dave. But it looks, the thumbnail caught my interest. And then, of course, I see the thumbnail for the trailer for the game. And, yeah. Here's the thing with me in games. But Dave, I got to get that on my, AG Pennypacker, love you, buddy. I got to get that on my board. Here's the thing with games. You would think somebody like me would be really invested in games. But I think there's people, I don't know what it is, okay? I think there are people like myself, Gen Xers, but born towards the end of the Gen X time frame, right? I was born in 1979. I know some people say that millennials is 1980 to, 1995 or something like that. It's like, no. I think, I know what it says on Google, but no. Anyway, I'm a Gen Xer, but I'm at the end of it. And I grew up through the 1980s with Nintendo. And like the heart of my gaming experience was, like you would have, like in order to be my age, nearly 41, and a gamer. No, I don't mean somebody who just casually plays a cool game because it's cool, like I do with Grand Theft Auto or, something like that, or Tom Clancy's Ghost Protocol or whatever those games. They're cool, right? But I haven't finished any of them. I just play Grand Theft Auto to run around and shoot people and, fuck it, right? I think in order to be a hardcore gamer of somebody my age today who fucking knows exactly, I thought it was a fucking movie. It's a game. I think it's a game, right? A reported leak, but now are announced along the new trailer that the game will be released this summer on Xbox. Yeah, it's totally a game. I thought it was a movie. This is how out to lunch I am with this. I think in order to be a hardcore gamer, to know instantly what that was, or to be like, fuck yeah! All this kind, to be my age, like you would have had to have never lost that. Like we grew up through I just missed the Atari era. The Atari wasn't geared towards me, but because I had older brothers and sister, I had 2 older brothers and an older sister, I was very familiar with the Atari in the early 80s. Played it, Pitfall, Pac-Man, all that kind of stuff. But then when Nintendo came out in 85, of course I was 6 years old and, I'm a Nintendo guy, right? I'm a Nintendo baby, I'm a Sega Genesis teenager, and by the time I hit my early 20s, it's like, I just think in order to be still emotionally invested at 41 years old, you would had to have been unusually obsessed with games right the way through. Like, do people just forget about games and then come back to it and become obsessed with it or something like that? Like, I've played cool games and the graphics are amazing. I have a PS4. I love it. It's great. But man, like some of you gamers are like, fucking yeah, fucking yeah. And it's just like, well, you guys are like, there's championships, there's $1 million championships for this kind of thing now. And has been for a while. It's crazy. I didn't know that this was a game, but it's a game. The thumbnail looked really cool and the premise sounds really cool, but it's a game. So I probably won't have any interest in playing that. Well, maybe it'd be cool. I don't know. Jordan Peele explains why Nia DaCosta was the perfect choice to direct Candyman. Well, let's find out. A woman directed Candyman, for those of you that did not know. He says, quote, quite honestly, Nia is better to shoot this than I am, Peele told the magazine. Which magazine? Empire magazine. I'm way too obsessed with the original tales in my head. I probably wouldn't be any good. But Nia has a steady manner about her, which you don't see a lot in the horror space. She's refined, elegant. Every shot is beautiful. It's a beautiful, beautiful movie. I'm so glad I didn't mess it up. Well, the box office will determine that. But I think I know what he's talking about. DaCosta, meanwhile, explained her approach to the new take on Candyman. There's definitely a sense of taking ownership and telling a black story about black people. DaCosta told Empire in the same article, it was very important for all of us to have our main character be black and for this experience to be through the black lens. Let's make sure we change the lens now. Okay, Nia, here's what I have to say to that. I get it. I in principle, I support it. I think a rising tide raises all ships. I like the idea of, but I'm a huge proponent of equality of opportunity, not equality of outcome. So if this, in my opinion, if this feels preachy or condescending or pretentious or too on the nose, then I'm going to have the same reaction I did to this as I did the Black Christmas film. You know, the way you do it is you create the, like in Us, right? Where it was a black family. It could have been a white family. I mean, there was a white family in it, but I mean, the main protagonists could have been a white family, but it wasn't. It was a black family. And that was great. Like, it wasn't drawing any attention to, you know, and there's nothing wrong with making movies that do that. But the important thing is that you don't want every movie that a black family or a black couple or black people are in to have that slant to it, right? To have that edge to it. You know, you want to, like, it's okay that some do, but certainly I don't want I want to, you know, I don't want to be looking through that lens all the time, you know? So in principle, I like what she says there. I think that is important, certainly in this industry, to get more, you know, people who are black, who are Asian, you know, more women. And I think most men agree with that. I really do. Are there pretentious, condescending, scuzz-sucking fuckheads out there that are just racist, misogynistic pigs? Yeah, of course. Of course there are. But I think most men are totally okay with this kind of thing, as long as it feels organic and it doesn't feel shoehorned in and it doesn't feel pretentious or patronizing. You know, it feels, you know, it's story first, you know, script and story first. And that's the one thing I did like about Us, was I was totally engrossed in the story, even though I didn't like the movie as much as I was hoping. Them being black was irrelevant, which was great. Now, that doesn't mean that every time you make a movie that black being irrelevant should be irrelevant. Sometimes it shouldn't be, right? Depends on the story. Do you know what I'm saying? So, I agree with the principle of what she's saying. It's just when I hear things that, you know, like that, I'm like, oh, you know, okay, all right, you know, my fingers are crossed that when I leave the theater, I'm like, oh, that was great. Yeah, that was cool. Totally get it. Saw what she was doing. Totally great. You know what I mean? The trailers don't make me think it's going to be patronizing or pretentious or anything like that. Looks fine, you know. So we'll see. I'm rooting for you, man. I am. I'm rooting for the movie. I always want these kind of movies to do well because obviously it bodes well for everybody. The brand new Candyman film will now slash up theaters on September 25th, 2020. Yeah, I love that. Was originally supposed to be the beginning of June, but no, 2020. So going to be interesting to see, man. Going to be interesting to see. I am excited, though. I will say this. I'm excited that a woman is directing it. That's good. And I hope it's good. But remember, folks, if it's actually not a good movie and people don't go to see it, or people only see it once, or it doesn't do very well at the box office, it's not because a woman directed the movie. because the movie was crap. But let's hope the movie's not crap. Monster Hunter World Iceborne update arriving April 23rd. What the fuck is that? I have no idea. Probably a game. Main characters revealed in 9 new images from Denis Villeneuve's Dune. Ooh, yeah. Have you guys checked out the Dune images? There's Oscar Isaac. Oh, he looks epic. That looks good, man. That looks good. Let's check these out. I just want to check these images. Oh, yeah. I haven't seen these images. Warner Brothers and Legendary will release Dune on December 18th, 2020. Of course, they're just images. They don't mean fuck. They don't mean anything. They're just cool images. But it's cool to see it. It's cool to see it because we haven't actually really heard anything of Dune. We haven't seen anything from Dune. It's been pretty quiet on the Dune front, so to speak. Now, I am a big fan of Denis Villeneuve. I think I'm saying that right. French-Canadian director who directed, of course, Arrival and Blade Runner 2049, and he directed that one that I really like with Prisoners. He's very talented and Canadian, which is always good. Rooting for the home team. And when he was tapped to direct a remake of Dune, I was like, oh, yeah. I mean, this is going to be it's probably going to be a good movie. You know, whether you'll like it as much as the original, who knows? But it'll be well directed, well produced. You know what I mean? And that's outside of the visual effects. The characters will be really good. It's very well cast. The direction will be very good, on point, paced out appropriately, and well produced. So I'm excited to see it when it comes out. I got to brush up on the original, though. I haven't seen that in probably decades. Cool images. Is that Jason Momoa? No. Is he in this? Jason Momoa in this? I don't think he is. Oh, he is in this. He is. Yeah, he is. That is Jason Momoa. Oscar Isaac. Yeah, looking down there. Oh, I love that picture. I love that shot. Who is that? Oh, you guys. Fuck. Anyways, I gotta be able to show you guys my apologies that you guys can't see what I am looking at. My apologies. I have to figure out how to do that with Wirecast. I know how to do it with OBS, but I don't use OBS for these streams. But let me just bring up the one picture from the Dune that I was looking at, that I was like, oh, I love that shot. Yeah. I love this shot. Love the lighting. Just love this shot here. Okay, I'm just going to bring it up. It's going to cover my... Oh, actually, you know what? I can move it over to the side of me, actually. There we go. Okay, I love this. I love that. Oh, I love that shot. I love the lighting on her face. It looks like I get it's okay. Admittedly, it's very Star Wars like, and maybe that's why I really like it. It's almost like I'm telling you guys, it's too bad, and I understand it, but it's too bad that there wasn't another movie after The Rise of Skywalker, or they didn't split that movie into 2 movies. Well, I guess that would be another movie after The Rise of Skywalker. I said the same thing twice, but it's kind of too bad because I have always been a huge proponent. As you guys know, I love that the character of Rey was a descendant of Palpatine. I love that. Fucking love it. I would have loved if Rey went bad. 100%. Now, obviously, we know how these things go. The probability of that's very low, but I would have loved that. And this image here from Dune kind of reminds me of a dark Empress Jedi or Sith Lord or something like that, right? It's very Star Wars-esque. Do you know what I mean? And it looks like she could be standing out in the desert and the light on her is from the sun. It's really not from the sun, but in the movie, it's like from this. And this is probably... This here is a promotional image that may not even be in the movie at all. There may not be a shot like this anywhere in the film. I don't think these are screen grabs. I think they're just promotional images. They could be screen grabs, but who knows? Things can change between now and December as well. But this looks like, it looks very Sith-like, and I love it. And I wish we could have seen Daisy Ridley's Rey, you know what I mean? Like there was another movie, like they went to 10, and episode 9 kind of ends with not ends, but maybe the last, she's gone full on fucking bad. You know what I mean? Or so. I mean, really, that's how The Last Jedi should have ended, is that she should have gone with, I'm not even going to get into it again. I'm not even going to fucking get into it again. But I'm just saying, this picture excites me, probably because there's a bit of a Star Wars vibe there. But I don't know who this person is. I don't know who she's playing. I'm not really looking that closely here, but really cool. I like that. I think that's really awesome. I like that. Yeah, Rebecca Ferguson was great in Dr. Sleep. Oh, is it Rebecca Ferguson? Is that who it is? Really? That's Rebecca Ferguson? It doesn't even look like her. Is it Rebecca Ferguson? Wow. That doesn't even look like her. Oh, it's photo. Yeah, they're set photos. Is it really Rebecca Ferguson? Wow, I didn't recognize her. Oh, you know what? Looking at it a bit now, I can kind of see it. If you're right on that. Anyway, it's cool. Very Star Wars-like, right? Well, you know what? And when you look at everything, like I'm looking at a picture of Josh Brolin as well. It looks like he's in it looks like a Star Wars movie. It looks like a Star Wars movie, right? Totally could be a Star Wars movie. You could totally buy this as a Star Wars movie. Totally. You know, the setting, the lived-in world, the gritty feel, right? The tangible practicalness of everything that, you're kind of feeling there or seeing. It's cool stuff. Check it out. Go to bloodydisgusting.com and just look for the headline, Main Characters Revealed in 9 New Images from Denis Villeneuve's Dune. Check it out because it's pretty cool stuff. I am really excited to see this movie. I love the look of everything. Oh, yeah. Oh, I love this look. I love it. Orgasmic, ladies and gentlemen. Orgasmic, ladies and germs. Resident Evil's Albert Wesker gives PSA on current pandemic events. Don't care. Rumor, Resident Evil 8 to support PSVR. They're up to 8 already? I did the trailer for 6. Was it 6? I did a game trailer for Resident Evil 6 in 2012. Whatever game I posted to social media, was it last week or the week before? I did a trailer for Resident Evil 6. I think it was 6. A lot of game news here, and admittedly, I don't know a lot about games, so I'm not really sure. Effects designer Jim Doyle shares vintage footage of a Nightmare on Elm Street's rotating room video. Are you kidding me? Oh my God, we got to fucking see this. Holy shit. Are you kidding me? Why didn't I see this? It should have been a main topic. I should have scrolled through this news. Then it would have been a main topic. Oh, there's a video. Dude, we got to watch this video. How can I bring this up? Dude. Oh my goodness. Okay, folks, I'm going to you know what I'm going to do? Oh, it's 15 minutes long. Oh, that's too long. That's too long to go through here. I'm going to have to check that out afterwards. I'm going to send you guys the link, okay? So you guys can check this out yourself. But this is too long. Look, it was like 30 seconds or a minute. I'd watch it all here. But let me just, I'm going to put the link in the description. There you go. There's a link in the description, guys. Check that out when you have some time. That is a 15-minute video of, yeah. It says, A Nightmare on Elm Street Rotating Room TV Special. It's a TV special. Oh, and Brecken 2 Electronic Boogaloo use. So it's probably got 2 things in there. There's probably 2 things in there they're doing. But fuck, I got to check that out. That's some cool shit, man. Some cool shit. Let's read a bit of the article, shall we? Let's do it. Let's do it. All right. The premise of Wes Craven's A Nightmare on Elm Street allowed for some of the most imaginative deaths in horror, including Tina, Amanda Wise, getting dragged across the ceiling, and Glenn, Johnny Depp, being reduced to an old faithful-like fountain of blood in his bed. Both of these classic effects were accomplished using the famous rotating room. Jim Doyle, the film's mechanical special effects designer, also known as designing Freddy Krueger's glove, very cool, didn't know that, and playing Freddy's arm in the bathtub, just shared a new video to Vimeo of behind-the-scenes footage of the rotating room, as well as news coverage from 1984 when A Nightmare on Elm Street was in production. The video also includes footage from Brecken 2 Electric Boogaloo. I think I'm saying that right. 1984. Doyle managed the special mechanical effects on that film as well, and Elm Street's rotating room was again used. In Never Sleep Again, The Elm Street Legacy, Doyle explained, since Wes wanted something really big and fantastic and out there for the first death, I suggested that we do a rotating room. Fluids can flow uphill, characters can rise, they can walk up walls, they can fall from ceilings. A young Craven describes the rotating room in one of the vintage clips. We can deal as dreams do with things that are sort of in violation of gravity, a violation of time and space. Given that the film was so low budget, the special effects team had to get smart about how to bring this ambitious effect to life. The room was not motorized. It was not motorized. It was totally balanced. After we were finished, that one person could actually turn the room by hand. It was so totally balanced after we were finished that one person could totally turn the room by hand. Fascinating. The team had to be very careful in securing the set scenery. Quote, you could never feel like that room was turning. Otherwise, it would give away the intended effect. However, the room didn't come without its challenges. Weiss experienced intense vertigo, and it's well known that while shooting the blood, the blood scene, the blood, also known as red water, caused a little bit of blood. Where the fuck am I? I lost my place of thought. I lost my place of thought. I was going to say train of thought. Lost my place. Also known as red water, caused a little bit of real nightmare for everyone on set. Once the liquid hit the light, the guy pouring the light was electrocuted. Whoa. And then the water began to slosh around, throwing the room off balance. That must have been for Johnny Depp's death. It spun around as wires and sparks flew, and the room became covered in the red water. I think I remember hearing this. Terrifying in the moment, to be sure, but the fortuitous mistake. Yeah, I guess so, right? I guess it's fortunate. As Rachel Talalay, I think I'm saying that right. The film's assistant production manager refers to it in Never Sleep Again. Yeah, so I have seen that documentary. That's where I heard it. That's where I found out about it. Resulted in eerie and gruesome visuals for the final film. Whoa. Rotating sets and similar effects have been used in films including Royal Wedding, 1951, Poltergeist, 1982, The Fly, 1986, Interview with the Vampire, 1994, and Inception, 2010, as well as Matthew Wilder's Bouncing Off the Walls, appropriately titled. Fascinating stuff, guys. Go over to bloodydisgusting.com and look for effects designer Jim Doyle shares vintage footage of a Nightmare on Elm Street's rotating room. I will once again put the link to the video in the description. There you go, ladies and germs. Pretty cool stuff, eh? Yeah, I love this kind of stuff. Man, it's good stuff. That's good stuff. What else we got going on here? Let me scroll down here. What's after that? Lost Vegas. Take a 30-minute virtual tour of Tim Burton's art exhibit at the Neon Museum. You can if you want. Let me see. Girl, anything catch my interest here? Oh, Witchfinder General actress Hilary Heath has passed away. Oh, that's unfortunate. The enduring satire of Mary Herron's American Psycho. I love American Psycho. You guys seen American Psycho? I love that movie. Let's keep scrolling. I'm scrolling past stuff that just doesn't interest me. There's a lot of things here, but not necessarily stuff that interests me. Not necessarily stuff that interests me. Japanese kaiju movie, Reiga, God of the Monsters, brings ancient sea creatures back to life. Oh, what's this? What are you, just looking like a low-budget version of Godzilla? Why would you do that? Well, then again, Hollywood does that kind of shit all the time. Let me see. Netflix locks down a school in Korean zombie series, All of Us Are Dead. Ooh, what's this? A Korean zombie series. Ooh, I'm always up for a foreign zombie apocalyptic. Netflix is planning its next zombie series, All of Us Are Dead. That's the name of it, folks. Based on the popular webtoon, Now at Our School, reports Deadline. Touted as a fresh take on the Korean zombie genre, All of Us Are Dead focuses on a group of high school students who are faced with an extreme crisis situation when they become trapped in their school while a zombie virus spreads like a wildfire. That laugh's not in there. Although that would be really fucking funny if it was. Netflix has teamed with Lee JQ, Beethoven Virus, Damo, the legacy police, the legendary police woman, Intimate Strangers, never heard of this individual, to produce the new original. The Netflix original series is written by Chun Chun-Sung-il, and will be directed by Lee JQ, I don't know how you would pronounce that, and Kim Nam-soo. It will be produced by JTBC Studios in association with Film Monster, and will premiere worldwide on Netflix. That might be really cool. That might be really cool because, you know, a lot of foreign film, a lot of Asian films, Asian horror movies, or, you know, zombie sort of horror-esque, not quite horror, but I think you know what I'm talking about, are pretty good. Pretty good. Gotta say, they're pretty good, man. They're pretty good. I'll check that out. You know what I should be putting? You know what I should be putting these links in the description. That's what I should be doing. Hey, you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to go back and I'm just going to quickly do that, okay? Just because I'm a nice guy that way. Hey, here's the link to that Jordan Peele article I was reading at the top of the show. And then I will go down to the main characters for Dune. Here's the link to the Dune article I was reading, ladies and germs. And then we'll go down to the, let's keep going here. I think I gave you I did give you the Nightmare on Elm Street one. And then we'll go down even further to the zombie one. Here we go. Here's the article on the zombie one. So you guys can check it out if you want. There you go. Cool stuff, my man. Cool stuff. Don't worry, I'll get to your questions in just a moment. Just wanted to scroll through some horror movie news. I guess I could go over to just regular movie news too, but let's keep going. So see what we got here. Resident Evil 3 Remake tops 2 million in sales over 5 days. Good for them. Season 2 of What We Do in the Shadows bites into even bigger laughs. You know what Netflix series I'm looking forward to seeing the second season of is The Society. I actually really like that show. I like that first season, The Society. Obviously, it takes inspiration from a religious tale, but it's not. And I'm not a religious person, but watching it, there's subtext there because you know what the inspiration was, but it's actually really well done, really well acted. The actors are terrific, tremendous, and I'm totally invested in the mystery. Now, obviously, if you know about, if you know about the, I don't want to give it away. If you know a certain tale, obviously, naturally, you kind of know where it's probably going. But it's really cool, and I've really enjoyed it. And watched the whole. I binge watched the whole first season last summer when I was under the weather. And I'm looking forward to seeing season 2. I'm looking forward to seeing season 3 of Dark. Have you guys checked out the Netflix series, the German show Dark? You can watch it with subtitles or you can watch it dubbed. I tend to watch it dubbed because if it's just a movie, I'll watch it subtitled. But this, I wanted to watch dubbed. I made that choice because I wanted to, because it's multiple shows over multiple seasons, and I just wanted to make sure that I wasn't, it's not just one, 2-hour film or something, right? But check it out. Dark is fantastic. If you guys haven't checked out Dark. A lot of game news here on Bloody Disgusting, excuse me. Hey, 4 days ago, this is The Happening. Shyamalan's greatest twist was hiding a deadpan comedy in plain sight. That could be it. This I always found interesting, too. The Overlook Hotel. Mark Romanek reflects on the ambitious Shining prequel he almost made. Ooh. I'm going to give you guys that link here because I'm going to check this out. I did hear something about this. Let's check this out together. Okay, it says here, years before, Mike Flanagan took us back to the Overlook Hotel in last year's Dr. Sleep. No, I haven't seen it yet, folks. It had been announced that 1 Hour Photo director, have you guys seen 1 Hour Photo with Robin Williams? Love that movie. That's fucking creepy, man. That's a creepy movie. Very creepy indeed. We are still moving here. I think we're okay. Yeah. Love that movie. 1 hour photo. Okay, so let me try that again. Years before Mike Flanagan took us back to the Overlook Hotel in last year's Dr. Sleep, it had been announced that 1 hour photo director Mike Romanek would be directing a prequel to The Shining for Warner Brothers. Yeah. It's The Shining, man. I know Dr. Sleep's got great reviews, and some people are like, but we'll see. Which was set to be titled The Overlook Hotel. This was back in 2014, though the project obviously never ended up coming to fruition. At the time, former The Walking Dead showrunner, that's executive producer essentially, Glenna Mazzara had turned in his draft for the prequel story based on Stephen King's original prologue to The Shining. It was reported back in 2014, quote, "The film will tell the origin story of the Overlook Hotel through the eyes of its first owner, Bob T. Watson." Interesting. A robber baron at the turn of the 20th century. Watson scaled the remote peaks of the Colorado Rockies to build the grandest resort in America, and a place he and his family would also call home. So what happened to Mark Romanek's The Overlook Hotel, you ask? The filmmaker reflected on the unmade project in a chat with Collider this week. Quote, "It's a great script, I think," Romanek told the site. "It was based on a prologue to the novel that Stephen King wrote, and then that prologue was cut for length. Excuse me. And so it's based on Stephen King's work, essentially. It's not just something somebody made up, and it's more of an origin story, almost like a Western or a wilderness story, going back to the construction and the discretion of the Indian burial grounds and the construction of the Overlook Hotel, and to its meaning. Let me try that again, because sometimes when you're transcribing someone's actual words, it doesn't flow when you read it because you don't necessarily talk like they do. And going back to the construction and the desecration, of the Indian burial grounds and the construction of the Overlook Hotel, and to its meaning to its opening night. Okay, I think I got it right. Back to the construction and the desecration of the Indian burial grounds. I think I got that right. He continued, "The problem is it's really expensive, and it kind of reads like The Revenant or Heaven's Gate or something. And I think they wanted to try Dr. Sleep to see if, my impression is, they wanted to see if there was this sort of shining universe that would have financial life through them, or artistic life with the audience." Artistic life, yeah, that's their last. Well, it's not, no, I shouldn't say that. And I think Dr. Sleep did just sort of okay, and given that our script is so costly, it's a little dead in the water right now. But you never know. It's a weird business. It's a very good script. I'm proud of the script. Romanek also noted, "I was stupidly undaunted by its relationship to The Shining because it takes place decades and decades before, and there's very little specific visual crossover. It was just, I thought, a really great story based on Stephen King." Interesting. I would love to read that script because he might be right. From what we gather, Warner Brothers was indeed hopeful that Dr. Sleep would pave the way for more chapters in the saga of The Shining. But the film's unfortunate underperformance at the box office may have spelled the end for those plans, for now at least. Really cool. That's really cool. Check that out, folks. I put the link in the chat room there. Just scroll back up and you may see that. I think that's really interesting. Very interesting indeed. Pretty cool. Some pretty cool movie news there on bloodydisgusting.com. Let me see if there's one more, and then we'll get to your questions. Maybe there's one more I can find here that piques my interest. David Bruckner to open the puzzle box and remake Hellraiser. Ooh, I was never a big Hellraiser fan. Hallmark also releasing Stranger Things and the Haunted Mansion ornaments this year. Oh, Christmas ornaments, Stranger Things Christmas ornaments. Ooh, might be interesting. God, we could keep going all day. Let's read these two, and that'll be the last one. Okay, so here's the link to the Hellraiser article I'm about to read, and let's check this out. Check this out together. The headline is David Bruckner to open the puzzle box and remake Hellraiser. Bloody Disgusting can confirm THR, that's the Hollywood Reporter's, breaking news that the filmmaking team behind Sundance Film Festival sensation The Night House are reuniting to tackle Spyglass Media's re-imaging of the 1980s horror classic Hellraiser. David Bruckner, who directed Night House and The Ritual, as well as sections of Bloody Disgusting's horror anthologies VHS and Southbound, will helm the feature, which will have a screenplay by Ben Collins and Luke Piotrowski. Hopefully I'm saying that correctly. Collins and Piotrowski, maybe that's how you say it, Piotrowski, were behind our VHS spin-off, Siren, as well as the phenomenal coming-of-age thriller Super Dark Times. I have yet to watch that. I want to see it. The duo also scripted The Sisters of Sam Hain, Bloody and Fangoria's forthcoming collaboration, to be directed by Siren's Greg Bishop. David Goyer, he's a pretty big heavyweight there. David Goyer, one of the producers of Night House, is writing the story and producing via his Phantom 4 banner alongside Keith Levine. Hellraiser was written and directed by Clive Barker. I almost said Baker. Adapting his own novella, The Hellbound Heart. As explained by THR, the Hollywood Reporter, the 1987 movie introduced audiences to a puzzle box that opens a gateway to a horrific world and unleashes Cenobites? Am I saying that right? Cenobites? Is that correct? Mutilated beings dedicated to torture and led by one nicknamed Pinhead. Spyglass, is also developing the next Scream with other VHS and Southbound filmmakers. Radio Silence, who also helmed the hilarious horror comedy Ready or Not, which was filmed right here in Toronto. And as I've said before, because I'm very proud of her, a girl that I went to high school with, a friend of mine, is in Ready or Not. So yeah, very cool stuff indeed. Cool. That's really cool. I've never been a big Hellraiser fan, although this image here that they are showing with the article, and if you click on the link, you'll see it at the bottom, is a classic image that as a young boy, I remember seeing, I think, on the back of a VHS box in the horror section at the video store. You know what I mean? You'll see it. It's the one where it says, "I am in hell, help me." And there's like this, like his skin is all torn off and he's like, it's classic. It takes me back 30 years ago. Interesting. I've never really been a big Hellraiser fan. I don't hate it or anything like that. It's just, it wasn't the one that I got into. Some people really didn't get into Halloween, or some people didn't get into Chucky, or, whatever the case is. Wasn't really into Hellraiser, but I'm curious. All right, last one before we get to your questions. Let's see here. The last one before we get to your questions, because we could go all day on this, is this is light. Hey, something to end light on. We'll end this something light. Here's the link to the one I'm about to read now. And this is Hallmark also releasing Stranger Things and the Haunted Mansion ornaments this year. Aw, that's kind of sweet. How cool. The coolest new keepsake ornament Hallmark is releasing this coming holiday season is the Jaws one we showed you earlier. What? Let me click on this and see the Jaws ornament. Oh, that's so cool. I got to send you guys the link to that too. Here's the link to the one they were talking about, the Jaws ornament. Oh my God, that is so cool. Let's read this one too. Back in 2014, you may recall Hallmark released their Great White Menace keepsake ornament depicting the killer shark from Jaws with 3 yellow barrels tethered to him. I don't remember that, but if anybody has it, send it to me. The movie's iconic theme song played with the push of a button. That's awesome. And it was, needless to say, the very first Jaws ornament from Hallmark. But this holiday season, when was this posted? This was posted the same day as the one I'm going to read in a moment. But this holiday season, a new one is on the way. Previewed in the 2020 Dream book, The Jaws Shark Attack ornament is based on the film's climactic finale, with the shark breaching the surface with an oxygen tank in his mouth. It looks really cool. You guys got to check out the link. The ornament was crafted by Orville Wilson and Tracy Larson, and it measures 2.32 inches wide by 1.92 inches tall and 4.53 inches deep. It'll be selling for $17.99. That's US, I'm assuming. So a little more if you're here in Canada, probably about $23, maybe, something like that. Set for release on October 3rd. Check out the Jaws ornament below. Very cool. I'd hang that on my tree. Hey, let's go back to the other one. The coolest new keepsake ornament Hallmark is releasing this coming holiday season is the Jaws one we showed you earlier, but it's not the only horror-themed one that is on the way. Previewed at the 2020 Dream Book Hallmark will also, let me try that again. Previewed in the 2020 Dream Book Hallmark will also be releasing brand spanking new Stranger Things and the Haunted Mansion ornaments for the 2020 holiday season. Very cool. Here are the full product details for both upcoming ornaments. Transform your holiday decor from the everyday simplicity of Hawkins, Indiana, to the extraordinary complexity of the Upside Down. Featuring the monstrous Demogorgon, the paranormal creature from the otherworldly alternate dimension of Stranger Things. This Christmas tree ornament will thrill fans of the groundbreaking Netflix original series. Beware, your doom buggy has just crossed paths with the hitchhiking ghosts Ezra. Oh, they have names? I never knew they had names. What the hell is wrong with me? Ezra Bean? Why am I? Let me sec here. Professor Finis Plump and Gus. Finis? Am I saying that right? I gotta get this right. How do you say that? Am I saying that right? Phineas, not Phineas. Yeah, Phineas, of course. That makes sense. Phineas. And then let me get the other one. That's so funny. That's so funny, though. That's because I'm a big fan of the Haunted Mansion ride, man. Big fan of the Haunted Mansion ride. Beanie. Yeah, it's Beanie. It'd be pronounced Beanie. Okay. I'm just making sure because that's what I thought. It's not spelt like how you would pronounce Beanie, but I think it's pronounced Beanie. So Ezra Beanie, Professor Phineas Plump, and Gus, of course. If you love to read the witty wordplay on the tombstones and waltz with the spirits in the ballroom at the Haunted Mansion, you won't mind these eerie travelers making themselves at home on your tree. Relive the fun of a visit to the Disney parks when you press the button on the Christmas ornament to make the happy haunts light up and play audio from the beloved attraction. Battery operated, folks. Haunted Mansion releases July 11th, followed by Stranger Things on October 3rd. Oh, look at the Demogorgon. That's really cool. It's basically a Demogorgon ornament is what it is. That's really cool. I got to admit, I like the Haunted Mansion one better. Because we've seen, like, there's already toys of this Demogorgon. There's already toys of it. I could fucking take a string, tape it to my, like a toy, and just hang it on my tree. There's nothing real. It's cool. Don't get me wrong. It's cool. And it's probably very light and it's not going to tip your tree over. I get it. But looking at the Haunted Mansion one, that's awesome. That is really, really cool. I would love to hang that on my tree. That would be really cool. Cool stuff. Hey, this has been fun. Kind of going through some, news, movie news, kind of changing it up for today. Let's go over to the chat room, see what you guys are talking about. I know there was a super chat that came in. Let me see if I can get that. Couple of them. Victor Andre Langso. Am I saying that right, buddy? Thank you for the super chat. Really appreciate it. Yo, Dave. Greetings from Norway. Love your shows. Thank you so much, man. Hope you're doing well in Norway. Billy Vane says, Dave, what's your favorite Elvis movie? Oh, my favorite Elvis movie? Maybe King Creole. I think I'd probably go with that because I do like the song as well. I'm going to go with King Creole. I think would be my favorite Elvis movie. I got to watch some more. I got to brush up on my Elvis movies. Well, there's a man in New Orleans. I think that's King Creole, right? Great stuff. Mark Johnson says, Dave, I was just wondering, under all your cool caps, do you have hair? This is not to offend. Do I have hair? I do have hair. If you follow me on social media, you'll see, hang on a sec. Do I have a picture I can bring up? I could take my hat off, but it's messy and bedhead, and I don't want to do that. Let me see if I can bring up a photo. I do have hair. I have a lot of hair, actually. Where would that be? Let me go to... Let me go to... If you go to my Instagram, there should be photos there somewhere of me. Yeah, I have hair. There should be a photo of me somewhere on my Instagram. I think. Let me see. I think I'm actually pointing. I'm making a joke of it because obviously I wear hats all the time. I don't wear hats because I'm bald. I wear hats because I'm just a hat guy. I've always been a hat guy. Hang on. I'm on my Instagram. I'm pretty sure when I was in LA, I made a funny post. Yeah. There we go. There's the funny post. Here, I'll get this for you and I'll bring it up. Like I said, I could take my headphones off, take the hat off, but it's really messy. And I don't want to fucking show you guys messy hair. So I'll just bring this up. This is just going to be funny. This is for my Instagram. Does Dave McRae have hair, ladies and germs? Oh, he does. He does. Here's the photo. Here's the photo of yours truly making fun of the fact that I have hair. Because I know a lot of people are like, are you bald under there? Nope. I'm not bald, folks. Not bald. Oh, wait, I shouldn't have put that there. Hang on a sec. Gotta put it here instead. Put it on the wrong layer. The wrong layer. Yeah. Why buy a mattress anywhere? Oh, why are you... That's strange. Why are you not coming up there? Okay, Anyway, okay, here is yours truly with hair. You ready? There you go. There I am. There I am with hair, ladies and gentlemen. Hair. I have hair. I indeed have hair. There's also a video. If you YouTube, there's a video of me where I am... wait a sec. There we go. There's a video of me on my channel where I'm having dinner with Mickey Yablons and his family. And he's showing me some really cool Halloween memorabilia. And I don't have a hat on there. It's just my hair. So just kind of type Dave McRae or YouTube Dave McRae, whatever. I guess it's not really that important. but yeah, I do have hair. And there's a couple of videos on my channel where you can see that for sure. And one of these days, what I'll do is I'll make sure to just put some gel in my hair and do the show without a hat on. That's what I'll do. And in that way, it will be undeniable. Undeniable. Hey, H.E. Pennepacker says, Sir Dave, my buddy Dr. Van Nostrand, isn't that from Seinfeld? And I were just wondering, in your most humblest of humble opinions, this must be the AR-15. This must be, is this another account that you have, Manhammer AR-15? Because don't you say the most humblest opinions as well? Must be the same person. What horror movie do you think has the most mood and atmosphere? Oh, I don't know. There's some great ones out there, man. There's some great ones out there that have a lot of mood and atmosphere. There's no doubt about it. I think The Others has some terrific mood and atmosphere. I think The Others has some terrific mood and atmosphere. I think the original Halloween has some terrific mood and atmosphere. I think The Changeling with George C. Scott has some terrific mood and atmosphere. I think the movie, it's not a horror movie, but the movie Prisoners has some wonderful mood and atmosphere. The Others is dripping in it. The Others is just dripping in it. It's fantastic. There's a lot of them, dude. There's a lot of them. First Elm Street's got some great stuff, too. Mark Johnson says, excellent. Thanks, Dave. I was only messing about. You certainly have a full head of hair. Yeah, I do. I have a full head of hair. Yep, believe it or not, I do. If I go bald, it'll probably be back here a little bit because my dad went bald back there. So that's probably where I'll go bald, but I'll probably still I was going to say remain. No, I'll probably keep the hair here. I probably won't go bald like that. It'll probably be back here if I do, which it might happen. You know, I'm 40. You know, it may happen. But no. I don't. I just wear hats because I'm a hat guy. I always have been ever since I was a teenager. It's crazy. Yeah, I just love hats. I don't know. I like the way I look at them. I like the way I look at them. Oh, look at this hat. I meant I like the way I look in them, obviously. Tiffany Moses Shante says, hey, Dave, what are your opinions on They Live? I like They Live a lot. I do. I haven't seen it in a long time. Obviously, the John Carpenter movie from 87? Is it 87, 88, somewhere around there? I like the movie a lot. And, of course, there's a lot of things in that movie that are very, Orwellian in nature and are very could be perceived as more relevant than they've ever been. Thomas Buckingham says, Dave, watch The Intruder that you made from 2011. Must say, what a great job you did. Please make something similar. Yeah, that was what Thomas Buckingham is talking about is a short film that I did that's on my channel. If you just YouTube Dave McRae, The Intruder, it should come up. And that was a little short film I did almost 10 years ago now, from 2011. And low budget, B-movie kind of independent thing. I did it with my buddy Bruce, and we wanted to just kind of make a movie that was based on the first 20 minutes of the original 1979 film When a Stranger Calls. So our little short, which is about, 17 minutes, something like that. The whole movie is kind of like or the opening of that of the original film. And it was fun to do. Sadly, it was dedicated to my mother at the end, during the end credits, because sadly my mom passed before she had a chance to see it. That's why you see my mom's name there in the end credits. But we had a ball doing it, and a lot of fun to do. And so I'm really looking forward to reconvening with Bruce on It's Me, Billy. Now, again, It's Me, Billy, for those of you that don't know, is a Black Christmas fan film I am in development on, and we were going to launch our Indiegogo campaign this month, but obviously because of everything going on in the world, we decided not to do that. Hopefully we'll be able to launch it sooner rather than later. If not May, hopefully June. If not June, hopefully July. But we're really excited about it, and it'll be the first time that Bruce and I have really utilized our resources to the full extent to create something of high quality caliber for us and for you guys. So we're really excited about that. But we can't do it without you guys, so when that Indiegogo campaign launches, we're going to need all the help that we can, because it's probably going to cost us between $40,000 and $50,000 to do it. But Bruce and I are planning on working on the budget breakdown this weekend, so we'll have more of a ballpark idea of what that will be. And that's between 40 and 50,000 Canadian, so that would be a little less US. I think 40,000 Canadian is like 33,000 US, something like that. Absolutely achievable. So hopefully we can do it, and we can bring it to life for you guys. But thank you for watching The Intruder. Yeah, thank you. I'm glad you enjoyed it. It was fun. Zach Livingston says, hey, Dave, have you seen any of the Hatchet films? I've seen the first one, because I think the first one came out in 2006 or something like that. I've seen the first one, but I have not seen any of the rest. Let's switch cameras. We also switched color temperatures too. Did you notice that? The color temperature on this camera over here is very different than the color temperature on this camera. It's much cooler on this camera. What the hell? I guess I'll have... I thought I had set that correctly, but I guess I didn't. A little bit of a different color temperature change. It's all in white balance here, I think. My white balance is a little bit different on this one than the other one. Robert Thidoff says, is Bruce always so calm and cool? He never seems so rattled. Yeah, he's a cool, calm dude. Yeah, I mean, obviously I've known the guy nearly 30 years, so I have seen him angry and I have seen him upset, but he takes a lot of things in stride. He has a very different personality than I do. Like, yeah, Bruce he can absolutely rant and rave and, get into it and be like, fuck that and all that. Absolutely he can. But between the two of us, who's more likely to do it, it'll be me. And then usually what happens is I get going and then I get him going. And then we kind of get each other going. You know what I mean? But yeah, he's a cool, calm and collected cat. Most of the time. But do not be misguided by his cool, calm and collectedness. He definitely knows how to throw down with the best of them. Gary Rangel says, what do you think of the upcoming Chucky fan film, Charles? Well, I haven't seen it because it's not out yet, but definitely I like what they're doing. And I like what the, I'm stoked. I'm stoked because we have yet to see a Child's Play fan film like this. So I am really excited and I am pulling for everybody. Like that's the thing here, right? You know, when you are working, I mean, it's like you're a family. Like I don't know the guys who put together or who are putting together the Charles film at all. But, you know, I'm rooting for them, man. You know, and just as I hope that they would root for It's Me, Billy, you know, and it's like we all want our films to be good because, like I said, a rising tide raises all ships. We don't want somebody else's fan film to be shit. No, we want everybody's. I want everybody's fan film to be amazing. You know, and then I hope my fan film is amazing. And I hope they hope my fan film is amazing. And we all can cheer and bask in the amazingness together. You know what I mean? Because it raises everybody up. It raises everybody. That doesn't mean that we're not in a, you know, that there isn't some fun camaraderie, fun competition. You know what I mean? We're kind of like, you know, kind of feeling, you know. But at the end of the day, dude, we're all professional, independent filmmakers, and we're all in this together. And that's really, you know, what it's all about is raising everybody up and doing the best we can for everybody, you know. And so yeah, I'm excited to see what they put together. It looks interesting. Love the trailer. Looks cool. Looks really cool. So I'm excited to see it when it finally gets released. But as you can see, making these things ain't easy, man. It ain't easy. And that's why, like, when we launch these campaigns, you know, it's a serious thing. I mean, we're not, you know, when, you know, it's making them the caliber for which you see like a Never Hike Alone or what you're about to see with Never Hike in the Snow. Man, that costs money to do that. So, you know, it's important that we're able to raise the funds that we do so we can deliver the product that helps us as filmmakers, of course, but also for what you guys deserve. You know, as fans, you know, you deserve that. You know what I mean? So, yeah, anyway, I'm going off. I get all excited, you know, to talk shop. But I can absolutely tell you, my hat goes off to the fine folks who are putting Charles together, and I could not be more happier to be excited about it, and just I just can't wait to see it. I can't wait to see it. Yeah. I'm excited. Anthony T sends in a super chat. Thank you, buddy. He says, Dave, do you talk this much with your girlfriend, or do you I love it. Or do you, that deserves a, there you go. Do you talk this much with your girlfriend, or do you become silent when you leave your room? How many times has your girlfriend said, shut the fuck up? You know what? My girlfriend and I have great conversations, and I'm a talker, and I'm more extroverted than she is, but I certainly am somebody that, when you see me on the show here, I'm talking a lot because I have to talk a lot. If I didn't, like, it is a one-way street here, right? I'm looking up there. Jesus, there you are. I always do that. Once a show, I do that. I have to talk because if I didn't talk, then this would be a pretty boring show. And because I haven't implemented the phone system yet, I'm thinking about, as I said a couple of months ago, I'm thinking about implementing a phone line to the show where people can actually call in. Now, whether that's something that you'll be charged for, I don't know. It all depends. I don't make any cash from it, but it might be something because of how the system works and the platform you have to use, the software you have to use. It might be set up that way. Like there might be like a one-time like 30-cent fee or something. I'm not sure how it all works. I don't really know yet. But my goal is to set something like that up where you call in and you can call in and then, you know, we can engage in real time, sort of voice to voice. That would be kind of cool. That's something that hasn't been implemented yet, but I'm thinking about doing something like that for the future, which I think would be really cool. but yeah, I am a talker. Absolutely. I talk for a living, right? As a voice actor. I come from that kind of family. Maybe you have a family that's like that, where you can't get a word in edgewise, and everybody's talking over each other, and you get together with your family at Easter or Christmas, and everybody's like, hey, that's my family. So I'm a very extroverted person. I'm a performer. I'm an actor. So I'm always, I'm never at a loss for words. I'm just that kind of guy. So, but when I leave this room and I go out there and I go about my day, I'm probably more calmer than you're used to me being. If I'm a guest on somebody else's show, or if you just meet me in person, you might be taken back by, oh, he's just a regular guy, because I'm not. Unless I'm in a position where I am required to speak, right? Whether maybe I get invited to a con or something, right? And I'm doing a panel with other people in the space, and if I'm required to speak, so I'm going to talk, you know what I mean? But just out and about every day, I'm more calm and cool than what is perceived here on the show. On the show, I have to speak because, like I said, if I didn't, it'd be pretty boring, but, for the most part with me, what you see is what you get. What you see is what you get. That's funny, though. That's so funny. And it's even more funnier that you paid to ask it. I'm just busting your balls. The Kevin Zone says, hey, Dave, what's your take on the Death Wish movies? You're talking about the original. I've seen the first one, but I haven't seen any of the rest. So I got to watch them. Mark John says, will you be bringing out any merchandise, Dave? Caps, hoodies, t-shirts, etc. I do have a merch store link in the description, but I haven't updated it in like a year. So there is stuff there. And keep in mind that the price is not, I have no control over. I mean, I have control over it to a degree, but it's not like I'm going in saying, oh, I want this to be, $19.99, and I type that in. The site that I'm using, which is what is the name of the site again? It's Spreadshirt. When I click on it and I go, you can have prices in American or prices in Canadian. There is stuff there, but I haven't updated the sayings or anything like that. Take a look if you want. There might be something there you might think is fun, and the prices are determined based on, I forget how it's, I have to type in sort of the percentage that I get or something. And then I think they type in and then they determine the price of what that would be, because obviously Spreadshirt makes money and then I get a percentage of that and whatnot. I'm not going in arbitrarily typing in, I want this shirt to be $19.99. I'm not doing that. It's determined another way. So check that out. But my merch shop is something I want to tackle again and really sort of update it. I might move away from Spreadshirt. I might move to something else that is more economical for the people that are purchasing and for me as well. Because Spreadshirt is, there are people that have bought, which is really cool. But it's not generating a huge income or anything like that. I mean, it's not, and everything that's made from this, this channel again goes back into the channel. So, but check it out. There's mugs, there's hoodies, a couple t-shirts, a couple knickknacks, things like that. A couple sayings like, I don't give a frog's fat ass. And, I think there's even, did someone say Halloween? And, that movie was a fucking shit show and things like that. You can check it out. But I definitely want to do an update on my merch store. That's something that definitely needs an update. Bringer of Chaos sends in a super chat. Thank you so much, Bringer of Chaos. He says, I'm excited for It's Me, Billy. Black Christmas is probably my second favorite slasher after Halloween. It's an unbelievably underrated film. I could not agree more, man. I love Black Christmas, but I do understand why some might not. It is very slow. Not a lot of action. I mean, there's not a lot of action in Halloween, and there's a lot more action in Halloween than there is Black Christmas. It's a very nuanced, old school, very slow burn, but the mood is fantastic, and the ending is terrific, and it's a Canadian movie shot right here in Toronto, and arguably one of the most famous Canadian movies ever made. And I am very excited with the script that Bruce and I have, that we've written. We've extended it. Obviously, It's Me, Billy acts as an unofficial sequel set, 45, 50 years later. And it picks up with the granddaughter of Jess Bradford. And I think we have a script that is really cool, and there's potential to extend it. If It's Me, Billy is well received, and it's, we're able to make it in the ways that we're able to do it. We're able to achieve our vision, because remember, if we want to raise $40,000 or $45,000, and we only make 5,000, or we only raise 5,000, then unfortunately we probably won't be able to do the movie, because the script that's written is a movie that will cost $45,000 to make. So if we only raise 5,000 or 10,000 or 15,000 or even 20,000, probably won't be able to do it. If we raise 20,000, will we be able to make a scene, shoot a scene, and then use that scene as to help make, to help raise the rest and make, the rest of the movie? Maybe. But in an ideal world, we don't want to do that. We want to raise the money we need and be able to make the whole movie. So we're really going to be counting on you guys. There's going to be perks there, perks like, every buddy has, but there will be some perks there that'll be specific to this channel as well. That'll be really cool for you guys. We're excited. I'm excited because I think there's such an opportunity there. Nobody's doing Black Christmas, so why not? You know what I mean? And we're doing it. We want to do it. Again, the goal, because of the people we are surrounding ourselves with, is to do it, as professional as possible. I mean, this is a professional film, which is why we, hired Greg Bennett, who is a CDC, Canadian CDC, the Center of Disease Control, CSC, Canadian Society of Cinematographers. He's a 2-time nominee. He's working at the top of his game, and we could not be more thrilled to have Greg shoot our film. So he's excited about it, and the cast is really great too, and things like that, so. We're excited. We are excited, man, and really glad that you are excited just as much as we are. Jack Ellis sends in a super chat. Thank you, Jack. Says, thoughts on the Fanatic with John Travolta. I've yet to see it. I understand that people say it's one of the worst movies ever made. It's like a, what the fuck is this pile of shit, and you can't take them, seriously, and all that kind of stuff. And of course, it's directed by what's his name there, Durst, Fred Durst, right, of Limp Bizkit. I think he's the director of the movie. I haven't seen it yet, so I will reserve judgment until I see it. But yeah, it definitely looks interesting. TMB sends in a super chat. Thank you, buddy. He says, Dave, I watched The Others for the first time on your recommendation. Loved it. I love how it's shot and you don't see what the characters see. I was tripped up at one point with the medium character. Yes, isn't it great, buddy? Oh my God, you watched The Others for the first time. I wish I could watch that movie again for the first time. I saw that in the theater back in 2001 when it came out. I saw it twice. And it is a perfect example of theater of the mind. Perfect example that you can make a great, suspenseful, eerie, creepy horror film, per se, without blood, without guts, without gore, and really tap into the psyche of your audience. And that, yeah, wasn't it good? You know what I mean? Really good. I like it better than The Sixth Sense. I don't not like The Sixth Sense. I like The Sixth Sense, but I like The Others better than The Sixth Sense. Call me crazy, but I do. Yeah. Oh, that's so cool. I'm so glad that you watched it. Thank you so much. Yeah. Anytime anybody can watch The Others, you got to watch The Others. Very, very good movie. Nick Push's horror channel. Am I saying that right? Push's? The S is before the C, which is interesting. Horror channel. Nick Push's horror channel. Just at me and kind of phonetically spell that out for me. Hopefully I'm getting that right. Anyway, Nick's horror channel. Let's say that. Dave, who do you think is the unsung hero in Halloween 1978? Wallace, Cundy, Hill, Howarth? Well, Howarth wouldn't be, he wasn't attached to the original film. Howarth didn't come in until Halloween 2. So Howarth is out. The unsung hero would be, the unsung hero would probably be Hill. I don't think Wallace is unsung at all. I think he gets tremendous credit. I think Dean Cundy gets tremendous credit for the visual aesthetic and style of the original Halloween. I don't think he's unsung at all. I think the unsung hero would be Deborah Hill. I think Deborah Hill, we often forget because sadly she passed in 2005 of cancer, I believe. And, she passed before really the social media explosion. And, the internet was, relatively speaking, I wouldn't say it was in its infancy, but it was, Facebook had just launched, YouTube just launching, Twitter was non-existent, Instagram didn't exist. People were still chatting on MSN Messenger. Remember that, folks? Remember MSN Messenger? Remember ICQ? Every time you had a message, bling, on MSN Messenger, right? That's how you chatted. The smartphone didn't exist. The smartphone did not make its way. I mean, the BlackBerry, I think, was starting to, but that wasn't, the smartphone as we know it today wasn't around until 2007. People were still listening to music on their, iPods and stuff. It was a very different world not that long ago. Conventions existed, but they were not what they were today. I think if Deborah Hill were alive today, she'd be given more credit. She would be given the credit that she rightfully deserves. Help producing that film, help writing that film, help bringing that film to life. But because she died before the explosion, we often, if she were alive today, she would have been at the 40th anniversary of Halloween. I don't know if Deborah would have taken the same approach that Curtis and Carpenter take. Curtis and Carpenter, now Carpenter has been at more conventions and is going to more conventions now than he ever has in his life. Jamie Lee Curtis has no interest. And I get it. If Deborah Hill were alive today, I think she would be making the horror convention circuit. I think she would be going to the Halloween conventions. I do. And you would have the opportunity to meet the Deborah Hill. And, but unfortunately she passed away. So I think really because of that, out of sight, out of mind, she gets sort of lost with her impact, how important her impact was on the original film. So I think it's Deborah Hill. Wallace gets a lot of credit. Cundy gets a lot of credit. Howarth wasn't even attached to the first movie, so it's irrelevant. When we're talking about Halloween 78, which I believe is your question, which it was. Danita Brown says, I'm late, but hi everyone. Hey Dave. Hey Danita. How you doing? Hope you're staying safe. Zach Frederick says, just like George Lucas's wife at the time saved Star Wars in the editing. That's a good point. Duke Fleed says, Dave, are you into Western movies at all? Italian? You know what? I'm not into Western movies all that much. I have to admit, I like you said here, Sergio Leone's Western, or Leone's, is that how you pronounce that last name? Sergio Leone's? Leone? I'm going to say no. I've seen a couple of Westerns, but I'm not into Westerns. It's not a genre that I am into per se. Although I do love, and this feels like a cheap sort of cop-out because it's Clint Eastwood, right? Unforgiven. That's as Western as I get. But that feels almost too commercial. And even though it is a Western, it's Clint Eastwood, won the Academy Award for Best Picture. It's a very good movie. I know what you mean when you say Western. And unfortunately, I'm not familiar with, I know what it is, obviously. I know some names and, some films, and I've seen bits and pieces of some films. But it's not a genre that I have sort of committed myself to. So, no. Just making sure I didn't miss any other super chats. Let me go back to the dashboard. I don't believe I have. Hey, Nick, did you at me to let me know how to say your name right? He didn't, but that's okay. That's okay. Not a big deal. He doesn't have to. He doesn't have to. Just curious if you were going to. Jake V says, still working on the theme for Two Dudes. When I have a rough draft of it, where can I send it so I can get some feedback? Want you to be a part of this. It's your show. I'm just rocking it. Well, yeah. I mean, and you know, like I said, I cannot guarantee that it will be something that I will want to use. But if I don't use it for the theme or the opening of the show, certainly maybe I use it somewhere in the middle of the show. Maybe I use it at the end of the show. Maybe there's some point during the, you know, there's some shows I use it, some shows I don't. I just want to be clear. It's not personal. I have to feel it, right? As a creative myself, I have to feel it and be like, you know, I kind of like this. Even if we get to a point where, you know, it's cool. You know, I can't guarantee that it would become the theme of the show. But if you want to send it to me, feel free to send it via my Many Things Dave McRae Facebook page. Just go to facebook.com/manythingsdavemcrae. McRae is MCRAE. And just send it there. I believe you can upload MP3 attachments when you send a message. I believe you can. Just send it there, and either I or my assistant will see it. And then if I see it, great. If my assistant sees it, she'll send it over to me. But yeah, I'm cool. I'm excited to see what you come up with. Rick Baker says, hi, Dave. I'm not a big fan of the new Halloween trying to explain away the original film's ending by adding additional narrative. For me, that changes the vision and removes the boogeyman thoughts. I couldn't agree more. No, I mean, you know, I mean, again, it's if you're talking about the original intent of the character, like you've often said, Rick, and I think you even said this a long time ago, if I'm not mistaken, in the comment section of some video I was doing, and you're not wrong. Just the fact that Halloween 2 from 1981 exists ruins everything about the original from a certain point of view. You know what I mean? Obviously, it was done very well to extend the story, and I like Halloween 2 very much. I do. It's my second favorite sequel. You know, and I think it was ingenious to have it pick up exactly where the first one left off. So it's almost as if you're watching two movies, even though the second movie has a very different feel and aesthetic to it, in terms of its tone. Of course, it does look. Of course, you have Dean Cundy as the DP, which is always great. But you know, no, I agree. I agree that the you know, anything that you do is you have to sort of, you know, he says, I'm not a big fan of the new Halloween trying to explain away the original film's ending by adding additional narrative. I agree. I totally agree. And what I'm worried about is in the flashback in Halloween Kills, seeing how Michael Myers gets apprehended. We don't need to see that. Just seeing him in chains in the middle of the daytime in the courtyard of some sanitarium, you know, I think it was Smith's Grove actually, is borderline too much. I mean, it is too much, you know, but just that alone is like, you know, okay, he was caught. I don't need to see the cop cars roll up onto some lawn and apprehend him. You know, I don't necessarily want to see that. I'm hoping we don't see that, but I have a feeling we're going to. You know, but again, this is, you know, you're like me, Rick, in the sense that you know, I don't want to speak for you, but I tend to think that you fancy yourself more as a purist. And obviously we tend to speak from purist perspective. That doesn't mean that Rick and I, or people like us, cannot dive into the sequels and talk about them, how they became, where they became. We can totally do that. I can do that. The unfortunate part is I don't like a lot of what they did. You know, I can talk about Halloween 2 a lot, and I'm going to do that. We're back. We are there. We're okay. We're back. A little bit of a hiccup there, but we are back. But yeah, there's a lot of people that don't, you know, that it's just not a lot of stuff that I like. Do you know what I mean? So, you know, I can talk about Halloween 2 from a certain perspective because I like that movie. I don't loathe anything they did in the movie. There's creative choices that I think were unnecessary, but for the most part, I think it's the best sequel out of the franchise. 4, I can, you know, enjoy, but anything after that, you know, I can talk about it, and I can talk about it from a, you know, a less sort of, you know, place. I mean, I can talk about it from a serious perspective, but I just don't very often because I don't like what they did. I just don't like what they did with the character. I think it's garbage. So why would I invest my time in something that I think is garbage? But I get what you're saying. I do. And I'm worried that those flashbacks are going to sort of show things that are unnecessary to show. I hear you, man. I hear you. Anthony T sends in a super chat. Thank you, Anthony. Says, I feel and many others, Jamie Lee Curtis, not sure how to phrase it, has a judgment of her fans and genre. Maybe not happy, but obliged your thought. I don't know. I mean, obviously, I'm not inside Jamie Lee Curtis's head. I don't pretend to know what she's thinking. But certainly, Jamie Lee Curtis is very outspoken politically. So there are things that she will say. She's not afraid to speak her mind. So there are things she will say, whether it's political or whether it's in the genre, that can sometimes rub fans the wrong way. I don't think it's personal. Okay. I think that she has her opinions on the genre, the horror genre, and Halloween and certain installments and things like that. And if you are somebody that likes something that she has a very strong opinion on, that sometimes can be perceived that she is making a judgment on you personally. I don't believe Jamie Lee Curtis has ever come out and said, people who like Halloween 5 are fucking idiots. No, she's never said that. I've said that. No, I'm just kidding. I haven't said that. But she has never said something like, listen, that movie was, well, actually she has. There have been some things she has alluded to and said, you know, like Halloween H2O just really wasn't what we wanted it to be. It didn't turn out to be what we wanted it to be. Well, if you're a gigantic fan of that movie, it might feel like she's talking about you personally in some way. But it's not personal. It's not personal. But she does have her opinions on the genre, and she does have her opinions on the series, for sure. And she'll say it. And but I think it's sort of like, you know, if you agree with her, it's like totally cool. But if you don't agree with her, it kind of rubs you the wrong way. And it might feel like she's attacking you personally. But she really isn't. I mean, I don't think Jamie Lee Curtis has ever said something that is personal. I know that she has mentioned things about fans, you know, in a general sense. And I understand that. I understand that from a certain point of view. I can understand how that might feel like an attack, because there are certain things that she says that yeah, I can, like there was something she said not too long ago, where she said something about, what was it she said? Jesus, it's escaping my mind. She said something not too long ago that I know rubbed some fans the wrong way. And I can understand why it would rub some fans the wrong way. But I forget what it was now, but I think I addressed it. And but if you look at it from a certain point of view, it's not, again, it's still not personal. Damn, I forget what that was. Maybe that'll be for the next show. I can't remember. But anyway, to answer your question, you know, again, I don't pretend to know what she thinks, but I think most of what she says is not personal. But, you know, she's a very outspoken individual. So if something does rub her the wrong way, you know, or something she sees that is silly or crazy, she's going to say it. And, you know, sometimes maybe she'll say something that rubs somebody the wrong way. But I mean, it's not personal. You know what I mean? I think we got to kind of keep it there, so to speak. But I get it. I totally get it. I totally get what you're saying. DMT Infinity says, Dave, what's your favorite Michael Myers quote? I know it's hard to quote. A Michael Myers quote? Probably the Loomis speech. I think it's just, you know, that. I also like I watched him for 15 years, sitting in a room, staring at a wall, not seeing the wall, looking past the wall, looking, you know, waiting for this inhumanly patient death has come to your little town, champion. I like that one. I like the, you know, oh, there's so many. You know, 6 bodies, sheriff, from here to. I'm going to be doing a Michael Myers on the suggestion from Frank Riker, by the way, one of my moderators, doing a like top 5 Loomis quotes, and I'm going to read them as drunk Loomis. That's what I plan on doing. So look out for that very soon, because that's going to be fun. That is going to be fun. And I think Nick did respond. He said to me, he was yeah, at Dave, it's pronounced push, like push you down the stairs. Okay, cool. Cool. And thank you for answering. No problem, Nick. Thank you. Nick Pushes Horror Channel. Okay. All right, a couple more. Just a couple of more. Robert Thidoff says, are you surprised there is not a cable channel that only shows scary horror movies? The Chiller channel left 2 years ago. Well, it was there. No, I don't think I am. I mean, it all depends on ratings, right? You know, is it generating, because they have to make income through sponsors and advertising. Maybe they just weren't getting advertising. I mean, horror is not advertised. I mean, it's niche, right? It's not advertiser friendly for everybody. So it's but yeah, I'm a little surprised today that Chiller didn't stick around, but I assume that there's a good reason for it. You know, like I said, they're probably because of, you know, yeah, they just weren't generating the views. They weren't people just weren't there. You know, people weren't watching, you know, in the ways that they needed them to in order to justify the cost of keeping Chiller around. So, I mean, that's basically, I would assume I'm assuming it's a business decision of why they had to get rid of it, I think. Mark Johnson says, Butch Cassidy and the Sundance Kid, Robert Redford and Paul Newman. Are you talking to? Yeah, I love that movie. I haven't seen it in a while, but I love that movie. I also like The Sting with Robert Redford and Robert Shaw. If you guys haven't seen The Sting, you got to check that one out as well. Anthony T sends a super chat, says, there is a horror channel. It's called the Hallmark Channel. There you go, Anthony T. There you go. Let's leave it there. Hey, folks, that's going to do it for me for episode 42 of McRae Live. I want to thank you for joining me. I want to thank you for all the super chats that came in and the non-super chats as well. You guys rock. You guys are amazing. This was a bit of a fun episode, kind of scrolling through some of the horror movie news. I should change, actually, the title. Scrolling through some horror movie news is what I will do. Change that to title, because that's basically what we did here. We scrolled through some bloody, disgusting articles, and that was kind of fun. Changing up the pace a bit, right? You know, not a lot of movie news out there, not a lot of things to talk about. So I wanted to kind of change up the pace a bit. Maybe I'll do this. Maybe I'll make it a regular thing. And next time I'll make sure to have it kind of up on the screen rather than sending you guys the links all the time. I got to master that with Wirecast. Know how to do it with OBS, but not with Wirecast. Got to master it. It's a bit of a different thing. It's probably not that complicated. But yeah, that is going to do it for me. Episode 42 of McRae Live. Thank you guys for tuning in. I really appreciate you guys being here. Of course, as always, I will be back Thursday morning for episode 43 of McRae Live at 11 o'clock a.m. Eastern Standard Time. And between now and Thursday, if I have some time, I might do that crazy drunk top 5 Loomis quotes. I might do that. But I can't guarantee it. It all depends on what's going on with me and what's happening. But that is definitely coming. So, yeah, thanks, everybody. Really appreciate it. Stay safe. Have a great rest of your Tuesday and Wednesday. And I will talk to you guys soon. In the meantime, in between time, I will talk to you guys soon. All righty. Cheers.